Hello, hello. It is not morning. It's afternoon. I slept until today. Oh my goodness. Today is Tuesday, April 28th. I think we'll use the Dali Tarot, whatever. Tarot. We're going to use that today. This is a fancy box. And I haven't felt super compelled to discuss any of the artwork that's on these cards, but I can just, comment on the readings where these are used, or any of the readings. It doesn't really matter. That helps get the messages out in general. I'm just making sure that they're straight. Yeah, just comment, like, subscribe to we're on any of the platforms where the readings are. We're doing YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And of course, if you want your own reading, direct message me on any of those platforms, and I'm happy to do a private reading. This is a reading for the collective. Take what you like, leave the rest. Yeah, some messages may not be for you. Developing the discernment. That Queen of Pentacles that showed up in yesterday's reading. She's a very discerning character, as is the Queen of Swords, who came in for us the day prior. And, some of the messages, like sometimes I feel and hear things and I'm like, oh, you know what, that's not for me, but I am feeling and hearing that. And knowing where we are in reference to other energies in any given situation is really important in terms of having better relational skills, because we don't necessarily need to respond to everything. Like, I was talking to a friend earlier who had a lot of medical issues that they were discussing, and they're not mine to fix, but I can kind of walk with them. I think I brought this up actually in yesterday's reading, that we can walk with the people and the part, we can walk wherever we are in any situation in a loving way, and holding space for them is often plenty. And that came up yesterday about knowing what's the right actionable thing. The Queen of Pentacles coming through yesterday is a wonderful grounding force, as was the Hermit, having that self-reflection to understand what's ours and what's not. And it's not about, oh, I'm putting this down and I don't want to do anything with it. It's just being, responsible to the energy that you have, and also then being able to show up more responsibly to the people that you love in a truly loving way, not being overextended or, being, again, check the intentions. Like, what are my motivations here? And if there's something that you've got some agenda in the background, which we typically do, it's good to discern what that agenda is, and then, be able to act authentically rather than, and to be of true service and love. And that starts with ourselves. We're being honest with ourselves, and then we're, then our situations are just more authentic, and we're connecting truly. We're truly connected in a very grounded way that lands for people. Here's a card that's coming up already. It's the Queen of Wands. Is it the Queen? No, it's the Two. It's the Two. This is the Two of Wands. So again, we have this flamingo character. I saw a license plate yesterday. I'll have to look up what flamingos are. The flamingo animal spirit might even be in this deck. If not, I'll find it in the other deck. But the flamingo is here. This flamingo character has come in. We've got a choice about two different ways to act, to do an actionable thing. But again, we have a woman. She's looking in a mirror, and I don't know if you can see that. Like, she's kind of holding up this mirror, which has a reflection of where, what it is that she wants, what it is that she desires. And I forgot to look. I think the moon is still in Virgo today, and then we'll be moving into Libra. So again, coming into those balanced perspectives, bringing in the air element. Fire is the suit of wands, but we do need an air element. We do need air to create a control, to have a fire that burns at all, and also to, know how to control that air. So, a two suggests a balance, and also I'm getting Two in some fellowships, like in a lot of 12-step programs. The two is in a 12-step program is uh, being willing to ask a higher power to bring us to sanity. You know, whatever your higher power is what you want to be drawing in. Now, a flamingo is also a family type of character, but it's also showing up flamboyantly in your true colors. So I also am kind of going back in time to when we pulled cards in the I think it was Sunday, where that parrot showed up, like a macaw. A parrot is also showing up and speaking in our true colors. So I'm gonna have to take a minute to look up. And peacock. Oh, the peacock flipped open again. Interesting. That she was in the peacock energy was in the image of the Queen of Pentacles yesterday. Remember that? So here we have a peacock that the book just automatically flipped open. When in balance, that too, confident and kind. When out of balance, can't digest situations, and you feel like a lot of GI upset. And to bring into balance, meditation on the navel. So again, bringing in that hermit. Yeah, I don't know if the flamingo is in this particular deck. I think it's in another deck that I'm thinking about and I don't have handy, but I will put in the flamingo thing. I will make sure I put that in the commentary. But it doesn't matter because it doesn't matter. The flamingo may just be pointing us to open the book, and there we have the peacock. And so, that peacock, really, I focused a lot on that yesterday in yesterday's reading. If you remember, I was noticing that peacock energy, and that's in our royalty. That's, again, treating ourselves of value and recognizing our own beauty, and that we need to be receiving as well. Sometimes we may not receive what we need from a situation, but when we know what we need to receive, we can go out and get it. I bought myself flowers today, right? So little things like that, like, oh, I really want some flowers. Well, I'm not going to wait around for somebody to come and bring me flowers. Look at these. These are right here. I love these. And they're beautiful. So I went ahead and bought myself, you can't quite see them maybe in the back there, but yeah. So how is it, what kind of beauty do you want to bring into your life? And that's kind of one of the things I'm thinking about. I just brought up in this Two of Wands card. It's like, making a decision about where I want to put my actions that are going to bring the most beauty into my life. Is it communicating with somebody? Is it, communicating more with myself? Again, meditation on the navel, like really understanding what, and it's that they're saying that she's saying the navel in that book by Krans. She's the author of that book because the navel center is actually the seat of our creativity. So what do I want to create in my life? How am I creating it? Where am I seeing it already, in creation? Where can I work on this more? What makes me feel really good? What makes me feel beautiful? What makes me feel like I desire myself? What are my, and just knowing what that is, getting really defined about that, discerning, and only putting our energy into situations where the reflection of beauty is pretty apparent. It might be just a small reflection. It might just be a small reflection, and maybe that's enough, right? We can't expect other external circumstances. Like, she's looking back at us. She's not looking solely like into some external circumstance. She's like, I actually know what I want. We're going to take these two cards here. Oh yeah, the Three of Cups. This is beautiful. Yeah, this is obviously drawn on from and not a Dali work, but he drew it in for this particular card. But so Three of Cups is about being in situations where we feel celebrated, where we feel like we are. Part of any celebration is that we're going into situations and we are. Was this the 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, this is the 7 of Wands. Yeah, and then we have another Wands. And yeah, keeping the fire burning, the electrical. So yeah, these two cards wanted to come out at the same time. So often being in celebration, a celebration is when we're really excited for other people. Like, when we go to a party, the party's not for you. but it's a party that everybody's getting together and we're celebrating something. So why not? Why not? And these are all day-to-day cards. None of these are major arcana. These are all like, what are we doing on the day-to-day that makes our daily life feel like a celebration? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this is the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands, there can be some defensiveness involved sometimes in a Wands, like defending our actions. But and that can create barriers. I almost see how these wands, although they're flourishing, there is some some kind of almost a barrier that are keeping these groups of people apart. And so there does need to be some maybe conversations, some actionable steps that kind of bring people a little more together so we can be more in this type of energy rather than this, oh, the way I do things doesn't match with this is actually, I kind of think about this, it's trying to understand that we all have differences, sure, but why should we let our differences keep us from hanging out? And that light of this candle, again, so coming in, like, keeping that fire burning, we want just the right amount of air. So let's look at this a little from a different perspective, so that way we can bring everybody together in a way that is more of this kind of celebration. So a lot of times this is just, it's taking a look at the actions, going back to that, what it said in that peacock, looking again at the way I act. Am I actually blocking? Am I blocking creativity? What am I doing that blocks creativity? And I see this figure here coming away with kind of one wand. I'm not really certain what that's about, but I'm going to look that one up in the deck. But to get a little more clarity on what that figure represented for Dali, to bring it into this piece of artwork, it's like, but I feel like this is like taking, like, this is almost connected to me to this arm that's got this is a connection again to spirit, to bringing in that second step, which is being willing to have a higher power bring me to sanity, like to give me that better perspective of, oh, we're never at the, we all bleed, and it's the same blood. And although the way we may do things different, it may be differently, it doesn't mean that we can't celebrate the way people do things and have compassion and enjoy, and instead, like, move all those wands away so we can have a better party. I'm going to leave it at that. It's my pleasure to be with you here today. If you have any comments on the reading today, or, like I said, want to discuss it further, direct message me, and then I'll be back to give you a reading tomorrow. We'll talk soon. Have a great day.